Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Thursday. Bright, shiny, happy Thursday. Has that camera budged a bit? There we go. Or, no, I've budged a bit, sorry. There we go. So, how is everyone this fine Thursday? Finding glasses everywhere. Hi, Craig. Thank you for the new, is it K-pop emote? That looks cool. And yes, Russell, we have, look at that, even looks ghostly. I'll show him off better in a second. We have come up with a colour scheme for the Nords, so they are now ready to go. What else have we got? We've got a couple of bits and pieces to show off tonight as well. I didn't get much of him done because he's look at the size of that. He's the same size as my head. Good evening, Tomo. So I've got bits and pieces on that to do. I've got some new bits and pieces that have turned up today to show off and maybe get some built. So there's that one. Where did I put the other bit? It must be up there. So what turned up today? Oh yes, I'm good, mate. I am good. I got the rest of the army through for Conquest, so me and Snowy have quite big armies to sort through. I'm just getting everything sorted, and I think we're about good to go. So, it's got the painting picture. We definitely have a giant to finish tonight. And look, even a scraper tool just for Snowy, who will appear as if by magic. We have a Nord who is partially done. And the ghost that I finished. I need to check with Snowy on how he does his mud bases as well. But loads of bits and pieces to show off today that we've been working with over the last couple of weeks. Stuff on the table, stuff I want to get done over, quite a bit done over the weekend as well, by the hope through it. Yes, the really moist mud. So yes, out of all of the ghosties that we did, we finally settled on one. So these will all go and possibly get a matching colour scheme. So if we go to the close-up, this is how it finished off. And that's the colour scheme that we went with. It looks pretty good. Now that related over to the Nord has done that. So he's come out really well. There's a couple of bits I still want to pick out. Obviously I've got the axe is all done in the metal, so that needs a bit of a dry brush to bring out some of it. Same with the sword, the dagger on his belt. But the mud's done, the base is done, and he's just a rank and file fella. So hopefully, with a couple of bits. Good evening, Jack. He does come across quite well with that sort of thing. So yeah, the conquesty bits. I have decided on an ethereal Viking army, straight from Valhalla. So if you look underneath, they've got more green glow. Yeah, Jack, he is just one of the rank and file. There's 12 of them in a tray, and he's just I think he's a raider. Almost certain he's one of the raiders. I got the big pictures. So for the Nords, I have one of the giants. So that is the giant in comparison. If you go with, not Dooku, let's go with one of the. So in comparison, he's still quite a big bit beefier than a AT-AT. Yes, Jedi Spirit. You missed last night, didn't you? You missed all the good fun. So this is the pile of painted figures that we did. And loads of different paints. Try and get them apart from each other. So I had some spare ghosts to try it on. So we were trying all different ethereal effects with different paints, different manufacturers and stuff like that. Even to the point of mixing some 50-50 to get halfway between that and that, I think it was. Oh no, that one. That one. We finally settled with this. That's another close-up. So this is how it came out. Now, I didn't want it a green full-on ethereal, but I also wanted it like there's a bit of the story that they're from the frozen wastes, so a frozen ghost, as it were, and you get the tinges of blue, and it's like petrol-y type. In hand, it looks a bit petrol-y. I know Martin saw it today; he really liked it, and Catherine did as well. So that was the base of what we're going to do my whole Nord army out of, and obviously that translates over to him being the first one. The idea behind it is the bodies of them are all going to be in the ethereal, in another plane, but the weapons are all full metal weapons, and their swords are metal swords as well. So the other bits and pieces, yeah, it does. It's strange that it doesn't pick up the blends on here. So we've got the giant. Now I've got two of these for my army now, and I'm going with the tree beard head. So tree beard head, he has a tree for a weapon. Now what we decided was he's got metal chains, and the loose metal chains, which I thought was pretty cool, hanging around his hand, which I'm going to do in the actual metal for the chain and that. The wood of the tree is also going to be done that. And some of these plates, I don't want to go too far, because if I do them on that one, I've got to do them on the next one that's going to have a lot of plates on it. So, yeah. Yeah. It's just a sweeping brush to sweep up the little dwarves. As for the sets, I could go and get you. I'll show you the sets. I've ordered the 2 starter sets as well. I'm not doing him in Tesseract. No, bad Martin. Yeah, it is really strange that even with a really good camera, you're not getting some of the effects. We saw it with Rasta's bobblehead the other week. Boo. Rasta repainted one of these fellas, and from above it just looked white. You couldn't, on mine you can actually see the tints of green. On Rasta's you couldn't see it. Even taking photos, it just wasn't working. So yeah, as I say, I will get round to that. I'll quickly go and grab the boxes of stuff that we've just got today, Jack, so I can show you what the army deals look like. I just need one of them. Just take it out and throw some So these are the Conquest army deals. And I know Russell's in Facebook land looking at what we've bought, so I'll show you. That's one army deal. Yeah. So this is the Nord one, which is Vikings. You basically get the 3 characters. How many factions and what factions are in the starter set? There is currently 4 factions. There is the Nords, which are Vikings. There is the ones that Snowy's got, which are the Dugon, which are it's a bit like Fantasy Tomo, Fantasy Warhammer-ish, but better. In certain people's opinion. There's the Dugons are dwarves, fire dwarves that used to play around with dragons. Snowy jumped on and got that one. There is that's actually flaring the screen. There is the Spires, which are alien creatures. And then there is the 100 Kingdoms, which are knights. Hi, Egan. Yeah, the Shaman does look cool. There is a new faction due out, which are orcs. Orky type things. So they're the character packs. Each one has a character in. So for my sets, I got 3 characters. We already have him built. Thank you for the sub, James. Much appreciated. I have shrunk in the wash. I was just getting in the way of my painting. Hi, Kinger. So that's basically that's the size of them. And as you can see, if you put it level for level, they're a lot bigger than Legion scale as well. They're just so more imposing. Well, so this is the army deal, and if anyone wants the army deal, just get in touch. So the army deals that they are doing at the moment, from some reason we only thought it was available direct, but it seems to be we can get them as well. So it's the 3 characters for the Nords that you get. So you get boxes of Raiders, and the boxes are lovely. So there's 2 boxes of the Raiders. Is he one of the Raiders? I think he's a Raider. Yeah, it is the Raiders that I've got. That's actually him. So I've got one other faction here, which I'll show you in a minute. I've got the Dugan, which is the dwarves, but I don't have the other. I do have some of the others. I gave some away last night. So you get two packs of the Raiders. Then there's Stalkers, which look very wolfen in appearance. And you get all of these basing trays as well, because it all works off tray-based stuff. Hi, Russell. Have you seen the new boxes? I'm taking that, Russell, from who is guiding us in all things Conquest. Are you on about the big £200 army deals? Or the actual new cardboard boxes? Hello, Mark. Good evenings. So yeah, that's the Stalkers. You get you get 2 boxes of Stalkers. So it's 2 boxes of Raiders, 2 boxes of Stalkers, 3 characters. Then you get the Ogre, which just look like amazing. Yeah, it's fantasy based combat. No, I haven't. I know these are all still the good. These good boxes are good quality. So you buy all that, and then what they do for the Nord set, yeah, you get a free troll, mountain jotnal, which is not a troll, giant. So that's literally it's like a massive army deal. I think the big ass giant. Now that's the giant. So we know he is quite big. We've been working on him. So yes, the new cardboard boxes are still very nice. Yeah, because Snowy keeps saying that one of the best things about this game is how many boxes you get and how good the box quality is, which is quite good. So that's my faction. Snowy's faction, he went with the dwarves, or the Dugon, and that's their character leaders. I know there's another one as well. I know there's a special one. Dugon, yep. We do have one of the organised play kits for it as well to have a play around with once we get up and running. That I'm sure someone called Russell will help us with. So yeah, there's the Tempered Sorcerer, Ardent Quig, yeah, and Holdrake. So yeah, you get 3 characters again. Keep got the wrong side. There is Thanes. Oh, they get loads of guys with rocket launchers. Inferno Automata, but yeah, they seem to get a lot of extra different stuff. So they seem to get Hold Warriors and Bacillita. Cool, Matt. Once we get through all of this and we've got some more people, we'll definitely have something set up and run. As I say, I picked up the OP kit when I bought the last lot of stuff, so I'll talk about that in a bit, Martin. So they're the dwarf, basically the warriors, and there is some with, like, he's got the crossbow. So their army deal is you get 2 of them. You also get, where we got the free giant, you get a free one of them and a free one of the characters is free in the dwarf pack. So you get 6 of these boxes instead of 5. Then you've got the Flame Berserkers, which are hot-headed dwarves with all steampunky type stuff. It's not one of the cheapest going, Tomo. I think these kits are like 200 quid, give or take. Then the Inferno Automata, which are again steampunk robots with lots of flames and burning, and yeah, they're not the cheapest game out there at the moment. And then the whole thing, there's some weight in that for some reason. Are they all resin? So Hold Thanes or Dragon Slayers, you can choose. Yes, the Spires. So that's the 2 sets that we have easily available to us. The one that I haven't got sent out to Kay last night. What? Flame robot? Yes, flame robots, mate. Was basically the household knights for the 100 Kingdoms. So in the core set, you get the 100 Kingdoms and Spires. Spires are like a dark elf evil race, and the 100 Kingdoms are the good guys. So yeah, that's... Yeah, next week I do have another 2 packs to give away, but I might also have some of these because I've got, for some reason I ordered extra characters, so I've got a couple of the dwarfs extra, I've got the blooded extra for some, but yeah, we will do a bit of a giveaway at some point. Yeah, the knights are really cool. I can't remember who's doing it for our little team. It must be... I think it's Dale that's doing it. So yeah, we've been cracking on with that. We've got loads of them. Once I've done my chatty bit at the start, we will get back on to doing Giant. A couple of other bits that have turned up this week. Steve has nice. Steve hasn't, but I think he was looking at Spires. So, Masters of the Universe, Fields of Eternia, the board game. Oh, yeah, the board game. This is something that we saw come along last week, and I was all over it. So we're definitely going to be painting this fella up. This is He-Man on Battlecat. It's quite good resin. It's not soft resin. These, I don't know if they're still available, but they're a limited release for the board game when it comes out. There's He-Man on Battlecat and Skeletor on Panther. There's a little bit cleaning up from what I can see on the paws, but it is a board game piece, so we're not expecting high quality resin, but it does look good. It's still got a lot of good detail on it. I can't wait to actually Skeletor on an evil cat. Yeah, so yeah, Battlecat came. Looking forward to when they actually do something and like the release of this game. It'll definitely be one I'm probably going to purchase. I can't get it back in its form. It does come with a proper cut bit of form. So that was one of this week's. Yeah. Yeah, I hope they do. Was it Ram Man? Ram Man was good as well. So yeah, that's Archon Studios. I said they had 2,000 of them when I ordered this. So I don't know if they're still available, but it is worth having a look. Yeah, bad boy. The next one is more interesting for Mr. Kinger. And possibly for Mr. Christian, who wouldn't be on tonight anyway. But I'll definitely, once I've painted these, get them put up onto his Facebook page. These are I did manage to acquire a set, and I managed to acquire a set actually cheaper than the RRP, mate, which is astounding. Someone on eBay had it. I had a quick chat to them, and yeah, he was more than happy for it to go to a good home. So we have, and I'm not Tesseract greening them. No. So yes, I don't. We just had a chat and he was okay with it. As he said, he would prefer it to go to someone who has wanted them for a while. And I just said if he really wanted to check, yes, it is the best part of the films. He could go back to any of my streams where I've talked to people about it. So yes, I have a set. They're getting painted, he says, with a big pile of painting stuff over here. So the next thing, actually, we only picked it up today. And this was from Beanie Games. So, Beanie Games are doing the Bones Reaper ranges. So, we've got a monster colour paint set from them to try out. Oh no, it's empty. Because it's all here already. So, there's a few colours from the Master Series paint range. High density pigment stuff. So, we have Null Pelt, Ogre Skin, Goblin Skin, Kobold Scale, which is like a lovely browny red. I can see that getting used quite a bit. There's a Orc Skin, which is a grey-green colour, and then Troll Hide. So Steve's given us them to try. Oh, I would definitely be interested in that Kinger. That would be nice. Thank you for the donation, Tavern Wars. That's much appreciated. So, I'm going to have a quick play around with them today as well. But Steve gave us a couple of things to paint with it on the stream. So, being me... Steve's only got these ones in so far to test. They work out about £3 a bottle. Yeah, that'd be good, Kinger. So I've managed to pick up a it's basically the Dark Havens young fire dragon, or young red fire dragon. So I've got one of them, not Tesseract. You haven't made that one yet. We'll talk about that in a second. But they've also just started doing the Black Series, which is Reaper Bones' new stuff. Now, these are better quality. Let me have a read of the brochure. I should go to the people. So, Steve gave us a huge brochure to look through, and the Dragon Tyrant was the one that picked my heartstrings straight away. So there's hundreds and hundreds of figures and stuff like that. But the Black Series, we've taken all the best features from Reaper Bones miniatures and made them even better with Reaper Bones Black. High detail, equal to resin or metal. Rigid metal, so thin parts hold the shape better. Improved pigmentation for ease of painting. Reduced seam lines to easier clean. Perfect. But there's all sorts. Gunslingers. These are very much like the D&D ranges. If you want a D&D figure, the Reaper Bones tend to have them, and there's hundreds. That Wraith looks really nice. Or Death, or whatever it is. Darkhaven. So these are probably going to be more that we play around with as well. Chronicle Chronoscope, which looks sci-fi. Then there's Numenor. All the bases that you can get. Get the camel. There's Cthulhu box sets. That's gorgeous. Can you see that or not? That is one nice dragon. £30 as well. That's pretty nice. And you've got Cthulhu, the blue dragon as well is nice. That looks as though it comes in a clear resin. 22 quid for that. Camel Dragon. So yeah, these are all the box sets. There's Kraken. There you go. Tell me you like your sea creatures. The Kraken. Yeah, I think there was a giant armadillo. Blightfang the dragon. Cinder the dragon's nice. Then there's Obsidian Crypts. There's loads of scenery. Oh, Sledgehammer Gun. Sledgehammer BFG. Do we know what BFG calls? BFG stands for. 50 quid for the BFG. And the big dragon from the front page is £112. He is a biggie. Dragons don't share. That looks very much like a Lord of the Rings type thing. So, oh, Metal Dragon as well. Worm Gear. The Mystic Circles. Steve's got one of these in. They look class. Mud Gullet. Then the paint range. So Steve's going to look at getting the paint range in as well. Paints are £2.80 each. These little sets are... So that little set there is 16 quid. 16.75. Plus you'll do your beanies. Big Friendly Gun. Yes, of course it is. The big sets. Core Colour set, which I think is one of the ones that Steve has in, is not listed there. Great Britain GBPs, 140 quid, something like that. Core Skills set, layer up. Reaper Paint, Caddy, Master Series Paints, Core Set 2, Core Set 1. The Colour Master Set. So I'm presuming the Master Set is everything, which is that one there. That's a lot of paints because you're getting 2 trays worth. But that's £500 divided by 3, so it's like 150, 180 paints in there. Oh, did there? So yes, more stuff for us to play around with over the coming months. I'm going to do probably these as paint up and giveaways between me and Beanies as a thank you to you guys who support Beanies and stuff like that. And that's it. We'll give these a go. I want to see how they're thin. Right, should we try the paints now, or should we? It's half an hour in actually. Cthulhu Camel. Yeah. Unleash the Candle. Looks like yeah, it did look like Tremors. He has a couple of bits of stock to look through. If people are interested, he is going. Sorry. He is going to stock the range. Oh, perfect. Unprimed. Primed. Let's have a play. So these are meant to be good coating as well. So let's go for the Nemesis. It's not Snake. Sorry, Mark. That's just to give my taste buds a run for the money. There is plenty of Sneak to be had. Do like the dropper bottles on these as well. So that's the yellow, how it's come out. On the palette it looks good. I've got the close-ups. So we've got some white, but this is just white primer out the airbrush. we have the usual yellow consistency over the white. And so not as good coverage over the black, but again it is white. It is yellow, so it's probably the hardest colour to... Let's try something. Let's get the airbrush on it. I'd be interested to see how well it airbrushes. It's definitely going to need a little bit of thinning in that. Maybe just one drop. He says putting 2 drops in. And I've got the hiccups as well. So the Reaper paint through the airbrush. It's still very translucent. So over the white, like you would normally do, it's gone very well. I probably went a little bit too harsh into the black there. I knew that was going to happen. So just building it up gradually, you are getting quite good coverage. It's using nothing out of the pot, just going on thin. So let's go silly and just go. So what you would look for is when it's split out like that. When you've eventually sent it off all down these little spirals, you would get separation, a bit what looks a bit like curdling milk. And when it goes thin, it goes very horrible. This seems to be even thinned out. It seems to be holding its own, as it were. So one of these with nothing on. So this is shiny as well. So just nicking some of this, and then what I'm going to do is thin it till it separates. Okay, he says trying to separate it. Right, you're not going to be able to see that very well, but original paint's there, all the way down to what is probably nearly just the thinner. You can't even see on there. What I'll do is I'll give it a second to dry to see if it does separate. When I get new paints in, this is one of the things that I test for, because paints can be turned into various things like washes and other bits and pieces like that. Thinning it down to that sort of degree turns it into what's basically called a glaze. And glazes aren't easy to get, as I found out today. But that's... You can see it has glazed and it's not separated. So even though it was just full of thinners, the thinners has actually not affected it that much. So the pigment, it's pretty good pigment in it, and the binder seems really good. Let's have a look. Let's go with the... So this is cobalt scale. It's a brown. It could be a 9. It's a... Yeah, that's it. Oh, sorry, you can't say that. It is... quite nice paint. It does hold its consistency, and even trying to separate it, it's not separating. So yeah, as I say, we'll try that over some. So far I'm actually quite impressed. So if we've got any brown bits and pieces to do, then there is definite stuff there that I can be playing around with. Obviously through the airbrush it works as well, you just need to thin it a little bit more. So that is cool. So, as I said, we've got a few to try around with. The greens are very interesting. I like that brown. I'm guessing that the goblin skin brown is very much... The goblin skin is very leathery. So I'll use that as my go-to leather for a bit and see how it turns out. I'll tell you what I didn't try. What have I got to try it on? Oh dear. Is dry brushing with it. See if the pigment content is quite high for the dry brush. It's the dry brush is going on very smooth, so smooth it's actually picked out the fingerprint I put in his head when I primed him and stuck my finger on his head. You can see the fingerprint in the top of it. So the dry brush is doing what the dry brush needs to do, and the pigment's picking up where it needs to. It is pretty good. Oops. So as you can see, it works as a dry brush. So that looks as though it's the pigment content is quite high, and high enough to do your dry brushing with as well. So that'd be interesting. That is a good little yeah, the dry brush picks up really well. that stormtrooper will get stripped down one day and put back to normal. In the meantime, he's a good little demo tool person. So, there be giants. Let's get this giant finished. And I get some paint down on him at some point. So, I need to do the arms. So, I'll do what Snowy tells me to do and clean the arms up a bit. Ow, cramp, he says, getting cramp. This is just the Citadel mould line remover. Let's see what can be seen and what can't be seen. So, nothing beyond that. So, like that. Which is quite a big bit. Feeling you're going to stab yourself looking for the knife in the drawer. Who's got me knife? Small child. Bet you any name. Here's a craft knife. So yeah, I will take some of that off, just so we get a good joint inside. Why, thank you. Oh, you mean the drag... Oh. So what I need to do is take any of these are all the spots where you cut them from the sprues. So just a quick clean with either a mold line remover or these are quite big chunky ones, so I'm using a knife and then I'll get it back. As Snowy says, you can also use a needle file. Just sometimes you can't get the needle files into certain places. You need to use a knife. And these branches had quite a lot of mould points by the looks of it. There you go. Yeah, that's just an old GW one that I had. I think that's TBP's, to be honest. I think he left it here. It's just my normal scalpel craft knife. Seems to have wandered, probably with a small child upstairs. And then obviously the mold line tool is just literally a flat edge, and it's just sharp. It's like 90 degrees, so it's quite a good tool for scraping over the edges of bits and pieces. You can get rid of mold lines quite easy. I do know I'm going to have to hit this with liquid green stuff for some of the bits, but I want to actually get the white primer down first just to see where. Sometimes the white primer can cover bits that you try to spend half an hour cleaning, and it just becomes to that point where it's not actually worth spending time on some of the bits that the primer fixes for you. Or like we said the other day, you can't even see them. Oh, Martin, what have you done? Need the knife on that bit there. When it is smaller figures, and I don't want to go at it with that, I also use a wire brush. And that picks out quite a bit of the mould lines. If they're thin mould lines, that will catch them and get rid of a lot. And also, if you've just done that sort of scraping over it, if you do that, any bits that you've left are also removed as well. So let's have a look at this. I'm going to, I think, is give that a bit of a clean. That side covers it quite nicely, but I'd like to get that merged together. Yeah, it's a mould line remover by Citadel. Loads of companies do it. It's just that bit there is, it's a flat, and it's like it's just like a scraper. It's like there's no sharpness to it or anything like that, but it just allows you to go and scrape down the edge of mould lines and remove them. Really good piece of kit. And wire brush. So right across his toes, around the side. So these are one piece mouldings, so they do have some mould lines on. If this was for a customer, I'd take a lot more time carefully going in and out of all of the toes. It's mine, not as bothered, as it were. I can normally hide them when I've painted them up and stuff like that, so a lot of this will just disappear into the paintwork. So there's a couple of bad ones on the backs of his legs, and they are going to be visible. It's going to need a knife there. So the tended, if you notice there, that's where they've jointed it. So it's jointed with seams, so that might need a little bit of filling there, and maybe a little bit under there. But again, there was a joint there and a joint there. That's going to be covered by the head. So, but there is definite. So I'm going to definitely need to clean that up. The other one had hair there, so I wasn't going to clean it. It's always good to check. Which probably means that's going to need some liquid green stuff. So I'll introduce you to liquid green stuff. Oh, he says, not having any. I'm going to introduce you to Putty. Yeah, probably, Tomo. So there's a few different versions of it, Elasto or whatever it's called. This is Vallejo's plastic putty. It is quite thick paint, but it fills gaps quite nicely. So with an old brush, I'm going to try and fill the gaps. If you run it across the gap, it goes into the gap and fills it, and then where you've got that left, it's easy to scrape off. So I don't think you'll see this bit with it being under his armpit, but just in case you do, just fill a little bit. Where else was that? There's a couple of, this theme here has a lot. Just running it into the seam so it fills the seam. As you can see there, that's quite, down here doesn't matter. I do need to clean the mould line off there though, as much, because it's all clothing which comes away from the body anyway. But this bit, I'm just going to stipple it to make it a bit like the clothing, and that hides that a little bit. A little bit there as well. Most of this vanishes when you spray it with a primer. Now there's some quite big ones there. Let's see. Just stippling it into the gaps. So the other thing you can do is let it go semi hard rubbery type consistency, and then give it a quick wire brush across, so you don't run it in the direction of the line, you run it backwards and forwards, so it takes away the stuff, the build up where you don't want it, if that makes sense. So I know you're not going to see any of this, just butt cheeks. The other option is you could probably put a bit of damp sponge across it once it's all starting to go off. It fills the gap, and you then just rub off the bits that you don't need. I'm glad I chose the putty and not go with the green stuff with there being so much. More into that. So that's pretty much, I need to clean them as well. the neck, where it was jointed at the neck. And again, if you scrape too, if you like cleaning it up and you take too much out, you just quickly put some more back in, wait for it to dry, rinse and repeat. That's it. They're made of the same stuff as the Vallejo paints anyway, so the paint's going to stick to it. And we do a bit down there as well. Yeah, so we get some of his arm bits done. And you can see there's a big groove in his arm. And just fill the gap. The good stuff with this as well, some of the other, I know I've had problems with green stuff in the past where it's stretched and it eventually cracked, so I've never had the Vallejo stuff crack. Probably good job I picked this one up instead of the green stuff. So that's that one done. There's only on there. He's pretty decent, this. That seems alright. A bit round there. You're not going to see most of this anyway, so the other way to do it is pretty much straight away as soon as you've done it. If you get a small edge of cloth and then look in which direction isn't going to rub off the excess and just do that. Now if you can see, you've still got the line where it's filled the gap and a lot less clean up to do. So yeah, it's filling all of the gaps, and that is, I think, what we're going to adopt with this one. There we go. So let's clean up. It's filled the gaps, as you can see, and you're not stifling any of the detail. If I remember rightly, you can probably do a bit of water on it and go back to bits where you've so if you're quickly rubbing it, you're leaving, again, as I said, the bits in the crevices. And I dare say, now this is just a plastic one, so it's a lot less abrasive. Well, I'm guessing if I go that way, see it's leaving it in the sharp edged gaps and removing the excess. Well, that's still wet, so I won't hit it with that. At the end of the day, some of this is just paint as well, so it's as thin as paint, so it's not as noticeable. So that should come out pretty smooth, but I did notice them as well. Knife. So if you've got a notch like that, you've got to try and get rid of it. If you dig into it, take a chunk of it away, it just looks like wall notchings. So it's not that big a deal if you get a chunk taken out of it. So hopefully I can start final assembly on him with his glued bits now. Right, where did I put them? There it is. It depends. Some models you just don't need to. It tends to be the bigger models need it more. So just putting the hand in and that position. So I've come to condition myself that if it's got a seam in that I've missed, then sometimes that's just the way of the gods. I miss stuff. I've had customers send stuff to me that's got mold lines on them, and they've primed them ready to go, and I'm just like, well, I'm at the point now where if I clean that up, I've got to reprime it, and then you losing detail. So again, that's just super glue and activate that. Yeah, all the way back. The thing with stuff like, if you're doing GW stuff, yes, you go over the mold lines, you find all the mold lines, but 9 out of 10 times you won't need to green stuff them that much. They've got the stuff down to pretty much a fine art when it comes to producing models. I'll be honest, these aren't that bad. I've had worse. Some of the FFG early sculpts were fairly rough where it came to mold lines and stuff like that. There we go. The head. I say there is better, there is worse. It just becomes part and parcel of what you. Ooh, that's got a notch in. And you just be careful to look for it. Like I missed. What time is it? Oh, I get this head in place, and then I can have a look at the gallery. Some have reputations. I'm not mentioning any anyone that I've had really interesting times with. Hey, Tomo. Mantic are a lot better. Mantic have got massively better over the years. I don't think Night models seem to. I did a commission for one of Tomo's, one of my mates, but Tomo's good mates, and no, Ratcatcher was alright, but then again, it took me longer to fix one of the models. Hiya, Cotton. Yeah, it took me longer to fix one of their models, so everything was in place and it looked something close to what it should have been, than it did to actually paint it. And I now have that bad experience stuck in my mind for probably ever. It's going to take quite a bit to get that experience out of my mind, as it were. Let's have him glued down. He says let's have him glued down, and squeegees him halfway across the... They are all on that size base. Yeah, all the big stuff comes on that size base, but it fits square to circle. So what you have for units is the units come along and they are in 4x bases. So 2v2s like that. So your little troops are all going to them. Yeah. But then when you've got a Jarl or a commander, oh cool. So the commanders, obviously, we had to print some bases to work it for them to work, and yeah, they go in there like that. So it's all square base started, all square base orientated. We've yet to have a full game, or a game, so I'm not 100% how everything works. But yeah, things go into bases. We need to base it and make the bases look pretty, so we're all good. I'm not sure why they come out the base. There might be something there for them to come in and out of bases, but the thing I was thinking of, that works as a GW giant now. That works as a Kings of War giant now. So having this system, it works in a couple of games, which is pretty good for them. Right. He is gluing and setting. So what I will do while we're having a gluing setting moment is let's have a look at what we've got in the gallery. Let's go to chatting. So out the way. October, we have orcs in. We had what the, they're not. So we have an October section for orcs and stuff till the end of the month. Obviously, some people don't know what orcs are. We'll have to have a talk with a couple of people about it. So the starter. Oh, thanks for the follow, Nexus. Let's go to Punisher is an orc only if you paint him green. So you all know Squiggy. He still needs a little bit of work to finish. I've done more on the base and painted the rims since then, so he is there. He's nearly ready. And then this is the first paint job I've seen from someone, and I think it's fantastic. So is this Martin, aged 9? Did some orc painting for us this week. Squiggy and the Squiglets. So this is some classic orc painting. So keep up the good work, Matt. But if we go into the gallery and then go all the way back, I can't remember if this was a sculpt Archnin did. I think we've seen that. This was like a mummy 3D resin print that he'd got done. Yeah, the people have been busy. I'll do the oil cans. So these are Ash's oil cans. So they are his graffiti period, as it were. He's doing loads of cool graffiti stuff. He's got some more bits and pieces coming along, and then there's the little eyes in the oil can watching out. Just some cool bits and pieces that he's been doing. This is a piece that I'm working on for one of my customers. Thank you for the follow, Gigawatt. So yeah, this is on my desk. I can show you that in a minute because we've done more highlighting. Ash is actually Banksy. I think you got the B and W the wrong way around, but yeah, we could go with that. This one was something that should never have been. Yeah. Ash has one of the limited edition Games Day orcs. Yes, Ash does a lot on Instagram. He promotes us over there massively. He's class. He's a good lad. And then we were talking about bits and pieces. So this is a tank that I fancy as a scenery piece, and then realised it would be the entire scenery, and we would be fighting just over that because I think it's 6.5 foot long. But that is a gorgeous piece of kit to build. Yes, it is. It is in bolt action scale. Now you're going to hear a lot about bolt action and stuff like that over the coming months because I've got a real bee in my bonnet about tanks. Oh, tanks! Oh, I forgot to show you that as well. So Sternley has started his yes, it was. Hello, Smog Monster. Good to see you. I still owe you a pint, mate. Thank you for the Lord of the Rings stuff. So yeah, this is one of his custodians. Yes, Kinger. He's been working on bits and pieces. You can tell it's Sternley, or TBP as we call him, because this is the figure that he's painting, and there is more paint on his fingers than actually on the model. So that is a perfect thing. We have Cornwolf, who is one of our new members and very new to painting. He has done Doctor Strange. That was the other things that turned up today. We have Kingpin and everyone that's turned up. Yeah, wouldn't be TBP without paint all over the place. Yeah, it is really cool. I do really like it. And for someone that's we've seen all of his work on here, so it's literally, I think he said not more than a month's painting and he's started going down this route of getting this sort of quality out. It's very, very good. Burke Feed Me, some October. Burke Feed Me, is that Ian? I think that's Ian, or Shenanigans that's on here. If Jack's still about, I've got something to show Jack in a minute. So if Jack's still about, so yeah, it's his October entry. So that is pretty cool, the way he's got it jumping off. Thanks, Jack. Someone praying to the Tesseract gods, the almighty squig. More squigs and squigginess. And this is what we were talking about with the colours for my Nords. The blues. I wanted the deep colour of blue, but I also wanted some ethereal greens in there. So this is when we were talking about that. And Paint Hand Sternly, some more of his going forward work and better photo skills. Well done, mate. Yeah, the greens are nice on that. I like the green and the gem green. Sternly was part of my team painting for FFG. He's one of the team that got Disney approval for us. But I'm sure if Disney saw how much paint went onto his fingers, I think we'd be in all kinds of trouble. That looks like he's been doing a squig, so there's a squig paint job there. But yeah, they're looking pretty cool, mate, if you're on. He does a good line in fingernails as well, so if there's any ladies that need the fingernails doing, I'm sure we can oblige. And then King of Squigs coming on massively. They are absolutely class. They do look good. Makes me actually think, do I need more Tesseract to deepen the green on my my big squig? There's all the noms. And there's the big squigs. I think as they get bigger, it thins it out, because your other ones look like a more intense green, and that looks a thinned out green. Pale tan green, maybe, yeah. I'm going to dull off mine a bit anyway, but yeah, it could be the light boxes. But then we have the obligatory Slimer picture, and then some Snow. I think this is Snowy's cheaty kill team. Snowy's kill team. I didn't say. So that's, yeah, I love the little blue one on the top. Little blue squiglet. And then there's more orcs. All the orcs. Snowy has millions of orcs all painted to this sort of high standard. He just has so many. That's the chain rasp that we did. There was a little bit more work done on it, but not far off complete at that point. And then Cornwolf's done his Corvus Glaive. The gold filigree or edging and stuff like that is so hard to do on Corvus. Everyone thinks it's like a 2-minute job because he's all black and bits of gold. Yeah, getting that gold right and not having to redo the black every 2 seconds is not an easy task. That's class work. This is probably one of the best pit figures that I've seen from someone. This is their first or second miniature that they've been painting, and it's still a work in progress. They've asked for some help and got some bits and pieces of advice that they're going to try on it. And when you go at the back, the colours are fantastic. Yeah, this is Doom Fairies. This is Catherine, who has only taken up painting since well into the lockdown, and only done minimal amounts, and she hasn't even been able to come and sit down and have a basic lesson. This is all picked up herself, so very well done, Catherine. It does look really good. And for one of your first models, I know you'll look back in 5 years' time and go, I could have done this better, I could have done that better. You'll still be impressed with what you've done. It does look good. Gundabad Warbats. Warbats. Wow. Are they coming out? Are they Forge World or just anywhere world? Well, as long as people pick stuff up, I'm more than happy to sit here as much as people want me to. Cool, I'll keep an eye out for that. Martin, aged 5 again, doing his Barrel Riders. Be interested to know which one that was, Martin. Yeah. Can't tell which dwarf it is, but I'm sure he'll let us know. Is that a still from the film? Cotton's done. These are these the chaos stuff that you've been doing? The chaos stuff with Civ Paint. Yeah, these are the chaos bits and pieces that Cotton's been doing. Again, the Tesseract, interacting with other bits. Yeah, the green is coming through nice on it. Yeah, Venom Crawler. But the green coming through. I've seen a lot of them just done black and gold and then bits of highlights of silver. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. And that's the other side of it. So yeah, I do like the green, just makes it pop a bit. Black and green's probably one of my favourite colour combos of all time. I've had 3 cars in black and green colours. Yeah, it's good. Mark stuff. Give it 6 months, and if anyone wants any of these Space Marines, they'll be in the shop, because Mark will have sold us it at some point. But they're pretty cool. The bikes are cool. That's how much of your Indominus is done now, Mark? That's what you say now. That's what you say now. Cool. So you're just in time for all of the new releases this week. Mo squigs. Squigs in chains. Free the squig. Don't have the squig in chains. That's horrible. Poor little thing. They should be free to chew on what they want after payday. Yeah, I know that feeling. And I think that's it. Let me just have a quick look in general. Oh. Andy Fern has just posted some as well. These are his Legion Troopers for cancer awareness. Breast cancer awareness. Yep, breast cancer awareness. So the pink Legion Troopers. A quick look, see if anyone else. I don't think any. There was a lot of discussion on how we were going to paint stuff. and stuff that we'd got into stock. And green comparison. So this came up in my feed. Does anyone remember Imperial Assault? This was a plastic miniature for Imperial Assault that we actually flocked. That is using the flock machine that we've got, and it is properly flocked. It's not what's Imperial Assault. Yeah, Mark, you know what it is from many moons ago. But this was the Wampa expansion, and we actually, yes, we did actually blowtorch an arm off one, and cauterized it and did the whole blood on the snow thing. And we also did a Sully for a friend, so there was a Sully version that we did in the blue and the pink. But this was just so, these are the things that I love doing. It's dead. But yeah, these are the things that I just love playing around with, and this is where I get all of this playing around with colours from that I talk to Jack about all the time. This is the big part of the hobby that I really love doing. A loofah, yes, we couldn't find you the colour though. And this was a set of books that one of my friends sourced for me for my Red Scorpions. They're 2 core books. Mould line on the toe. Yes, there's a mould line on the toe. I can't go back in time. It's actually sold. If I remember rightly, I got silly money for that. But you couldn't see the feet. So this is what I was on about before. The mould line is there, and I've probably just gone, you know what? It's going to. I did it about 5 or 6 mil in snow, so you couldn't see the toes and the feet anyway. So hidden mould line, very hidden. I think that was about it. Bits and pieces. Yeah, so that is those bits and bits. And if Jack is still here, and I haven't bored him to tears and he's disappeared, a wee box opening. Not that I'm trying to convince Jack to buy into any games or anything of such depravities. That's the whole point of it. So, as some of you know, I've been playing World of Tanks quite a bit. And look what they released this week. What's in the box? Still here for World of Tanks. You knew it was coming. So, I picked up a copy of World of Tanks. Paid for it with my own real monies myself. It is Gale Force 9's tanks. It's a really nice box. You get 4 tanks in the starter set. Yes, it's Gale Force 9 tanks. We've not read the rules yet. But the big difference is these are coming built. So the Gale Force 9 ones you had to build. Now these are coming pre-built. And I'm going to test it. It feels like they're primered as well. It's like rough plastic. So you get a Stug. It's 15 mil scale. Then you get the Sherman. Yeah, there's not that much to building them. when we were getting them from oh, cool. Send us the link, Jack, and I'll have a watch of it after this. So, when you got these from Gale Force 9 cotton, you got the hull, the tracks, and the turret, and then you just had to glue them together. There wasn't much building involved at all. Then you have the T-34? 4. So that's the M4A Sherman. Yeah, there's a thing called, if you look up tank girls as well, that's a thing. Yep, it's the T-34, the Russian tank, which is good fun in World of Tanks Online. So again, a cool little tank. And then you get one of Snowy's favourite tanks, which is the Cromwell. Oops. Cool. Discord, join us. What's the best tank? In my personal opinion, the Tiger. I love the Tiger. I don't know. Jack might be able to tell us better. Matilda's good. In World of Tanks, the Matilda is quite broken, but in real tanks, I just love the Tiger. My Discord, Mark, when we're on, I'll do a tanks room so we know that we're playing tanks. But me, Deadstay, Typhus, a few of us are all playing World of Tanks. If you want to get up through the tiers quickly, go for the T-34. It is so much fun. So you get oversized cards with them all. X-Wing style damage deck, I think. I've not opened any of this yet. Move back, you little fellas. So yeah, 2 damage, 1 damage. So it looks like... No, there's no terrain, King. These are all brand new, so I'm just having to... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. That's very close to X-Wing numbers of damage cards. Could be if they're stuck together, that could be a 33 card damage deck. Lucky Hit does 2 damage. Hey, look, double damage. Lucky Hit. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Ammo rack as like the game. It does 3 damage. Yeah. Turret jam, track destroyed, bailed out, damaged radio, engine fire. Is this just... It could be. But yeah, there's more fun. So there's triple damage in there for when you get ammo racked. There's another pack of cards all the way down there and I just can't get to them. So you get 6 dice. Tankwing extracts, yeah. So don't know what any of them mean yet. There's 2 hits and a tank on each. 2 hits and a tank on each one, and then 3 blanks. So there's your dice. That's them. There's a rule book, some World of Tanks codes to use. So these are all the upgrade cards, improved ventilation, and they're taking these straight off. Yeah, these are all the same artwork that's on World of Tanks So, yeah. Yes, it wasn't far off, Paul, which gets to the other part, and I haven't got them out yet, is there's templates as well. So, I've not actually opened the template box. Hold on before you do. Let me just take out my code so no one goes and uses my code. So there's all your. We've got the. So this is what we're getting. So there's German, Russian, American, and UK. So we're going to get wave 1. We will get Stug, SU-100, M3 Lee, and Valentine. There is going to be a Tiger. Wave 4 has the Tiger. So there's 4 waves. Cromwell's, Comets, Churchill, Firefly, Shermans, Pershings, Wolverines, Tank Destroyers, the SU-100s, the IS-2. So it is taking... I don't think it's going up in levels. I think it's just that's when they're releasing them. So there is a rules book, which I will probably have to read. There is scenery. Kinga. Oh, wow, Jack. So there's scenery, which is bits and pieces. Damaged cards. More scenery. But that's the template. World of Tanks Arrow. And that is basically it for the template. So you either move 1, 2 or 3 of them. It's on Amazon for 30. Cool. So, which brings me to the next part. I have a 50% off code for anyone who wishes to buy World of... No, I was joking, Jack. Sorry, mate. Had to do that. Had to. You know I would have already told you about that. I have to get my fun from somewhere. But that's the core game that came out this week. So these have only just come out this week. What we also have... before I broke them all, is there's a full set of expansions out already. So I've not even looked at these properly yet. So the first one is... Oh, so that's not the Stug, that is actually the Panther, isn't it? PZK, yeah. Expansions are £9 each with people's usual... RRPs are tenner. So, and this is the first one that I've opened. So, obviously, being the German faction. So there's a little Stug. Again, it's all pre-built. It is really decent quality. And it does feel as though it's primed. I need to check. So, in it... Whoa! So, there's a code there for everyone if you want to start playing World of Tanks. This might be one for you, Mark. If you use Battlefront, which is on all of them, you get 7 days of premium, 500 gold, a garage slot, and a T127 tank free of charge. So this is the... Yes, this is the Stug. That's the Panzer IV. Yeah. So you get your card, tank destroyer, Stug, hit points, your crew, commander, driver, gunner, loader, operator, hit points of 4, cost, all the bits on there. But then you also get upgrades for it. So you get an upgraded loader, so Bernard, designated target for the gunner. So these are all little upgrades. Eagle Eye for the commander, and then fill the tanks with CO2, so a CO2 canister and an upgraded gun. So you're basically getting 40k codes, not 40k, X-Wing upgrades. Does it say that it will on? Yeah, it has. It will only go on there, but the cards do go on various things. So that goes on any. The commander seems to go on any. The gunner goes on any. So these are all costed cards, like X-Wing 1.0. So that looks like you will get 38 points for the tank, and then 1 point for the lucky kit, discard, cancel a lucky hit crit card. Then you can have an upgraded commander, target a gun. So there's a few things. So yep, you've got that one. The Russian, because I think each one comes with a set. Out, and I've just stabbed myself with the staple. So each set has one of each faction in. Because that was Egan, it's working better than 2.0. So yeah, that's the. Is it the 100? The SU1? Yeah, SU100. If they still had the old version where cards work across the board, FFG wouldn't be losing so much custom, because all of the X-Wing players would still be buying every expansion, not just handfuls here and there. So you have a Russian commander, crew intuition, which works on anything, coated optics, which is in the game. Legion works because people want the figures. Armada has that thing in. So the way X-Wing and Legion now work is if you buy an expansion for Rebels, it has all of the other ones in. Yeah, it didn't break the skin, honest. So the way they've got it running now, 2.0 has caused a massive impact. I, for one, don't buy it. Well, I've probably bought my last expansions for splitting down. So we don't buy it anywhere near as much. A lot of my friends only buy a handful of the ships when they come out now, instead of when we were doing it before, they were religiously buying at least 2 of every release. Yay. So that's the M3 Lee. And these are all in matching colours, by the way. So even if you tank Caltrops upgrade. Didn't see them. Oh, the spikes, yeah. God, come on. So M3 League gun, Cyclone filter, Deadeye again, Adrenaline Rush, and an American Commander. So that American Commander could go in the Sherman as well. So you get the option of them. And then last but not least, guess I could be painting some of these, is the Valentine. The British Valentine. See, I looked into it a little bit and basically picked out that some of the cards do come in each one, but I also bought it for other people to actually play it as well. So so that engine is Valentine only, which is cool, and so is the gun. But the other cards, that's Brit. I guess that's Brit only, so that could go in either of the Brit tanks. And I'm guessing these are some sort of level, because they've all got numbers on the back. So I'm guessing that there's some sort of experience. This card must be played face up. If you've got the big gun, people know you've got the big gun. fuel tanks, and 6 cents. So yeah, cool. So that's the complete range as it starts out. Yeah, it's is that a driver's skill or is it an actual drive? It could be the same thing, yeah, a driver's skill, but it actually gives the it gives you an actual named driver. Is that a different driver too? Oh yeah, because that one's 6 and that one's 2. But then some of the upgrades are numbered as well. Has it? I think that's actually experience. So when you get so much experience from killing stuff, you can then quickly buy something. I don't know yet. Arrow shot. When attacking, you must modify what I'm presuming is a crit to a hit fortress. When this tank is the target of a side shot, do not subtract a defense dice. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yes. No, it's an upgraded commander or a loader, or when you play World of Tanks, they upgrade as they get better. You have a no-named loader, driver, and tank commander in there. So what I'm guessing is if you get 2 XP, you go, right, you know what? Have that. Philip Young will become the loader. And it is the same picture. I think he just gets better. I don't know. We do need to look at the game and work out all the rules. And no doubt me and Jack will be looking at it quite a lot now. Because we've both bought it. Oh, there's another pack of cards there. Didn't see them ones. So yeah, because there's all kinds of... So some of them have points costs or XP costs as well. So it might be levels, or you can only take certain thing. Yeah, I daren't ask. Open this pack first. Oh, so we've managed to not do that right. We've managed to do this pack last. There's nothing on it that says open this pack first other than on the pack. So this has all of the upgrades and stuff in. Rammer, then driver. So it's upgrades to the drivers, and I'm presuming that means it can only go on that driver. Because these are generic upgrades to the driver. So that's driver when shooting. It doesn't have the picture, so I'm presuming that the ones with the pictures are unique to those drivers, which is pretty good. It's good that we're actually working stuff out as well. The other good thing is, other than the tanks, the box actually holds all of the cards really nicely, even extras. So if you want to go to a game with 4 tanks, you pick your 4 tanks at home, drop your 4 tanks in to whichever one you can fit them into, and you then have 4 tanks. Or if you need to, 5 tanks, which I think I will do. That's one hell of a gun, with nowhere for him to go. The Russian can go in there. The brick can go there. And that can go there. So yeah, it looks pretty decent. What size? I think it's a 3x3. If it's the same as Gale Force 9's tanks, it's a 3x3 board. Because that's what I had when I played the Gale Force 9 version. Let me have a quick... T54. I don't know which T54. Which is T54? Don't know, Tomo. T54E2. Is that one on tanks or on this? World of Tanks miniatures game. Oh. I think it's reasonable. I'd have to have a look at it in the tree and see what it is. Setup, tokens, crew and modules. Battlefield setup is on a 3v3 with woods and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a 3v3 map. Tank cards, costs, special rules, crew and modules, tokens, game setup, attacker and defender, deployment, turn sequence, movement. It doesn't actually say how many tanks you take. There, I'm just missing. Creating a platoon. Tank platoons are created from 4 different card types. Tank cards, crew cards, modules. Cost limit 50 cost, then move up to 200. So yeah, you can play it single tank at a 50 cost game. So they say 50 cost for a tank and crew and upgrades, working up to 200, which I presume's 4 tanks. So you can either have, yeah, so 37. The Cromwell's 47 because it's pretty good. 40, 35 for the German tank. The M3 Lee is 33. So yeah, it's, yeah, I think there is a lot of 1v1 options in there. Your first game, I bet there's a way to convert it to multiplayer as well, because it does say on the box 2-player. He says looking upside down. Oh, 2+ players. I think you need the stuff out of the starter set though, mate. Unfortunately. Albeit it would be good. It would be a bit interesting. So let's have him back out. So I just remember to get him finished tomorrow. And we're going to start him tomorrow as well. I'll try and get a couple of bits totally finished for this and get them put up on the board. So yeah, you could possibly have 1v1, v1, 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 like, up to whatever you wanted. You could have a really, really interesting tanks match in there. Might have to look at some sceneries and bits and pieces like that and see how we go and see what we get to. If people are interested, I'm pretty sure Jack's interested, considering he just bought it. And I think we're going to call that. Yup. Oh. Yeah, that's. We've done that. We've done the gallery for this week. We've done the bits and pieces that we've got in. We did the finishing off the giant. He will get undercoated and I can start on him. I did manage to find some of that Tomo. Also, Tom's sending me 6 bottles of it as well. Well, if Jack says it's 30 quid, it's worth getting, and you've then got you and the Ben could play that loads. No, it's just called World of Tanks, mate. World of Tanks Rush, I believe, was a card game. If if I remember rightly. This is just World of Tanks miniatures game. Only came out this week. I got mine from Firestorm Games. That's a brilliant excuse. What more could you ask for? And the expansions, as I say, the £9 an expansion. Yeah. So I may have paid a little bit extra for it from Firestorm, but I do like to keep my friends happy by buying stuff from them every now and again. World of Tanks. No, it was $29.70 from. So yes, I did. I got it for about the price, same price. Hi, Spec Op. And yeah, and all of the expansions are £9 each. They've got pre-orders down on the T-34, the Cromwell, the M4A1 Sherman, and the Panzer IV. I think they're the expansions from the core set. So you can actually buy the bits and pieces separately. But yeah, it is good. I'll be interested in seeing how it plays out, and I really want to paint tanks. I'm going to be getting some bigger versions of the tanks as well. I've got a couple of Panzers I want to paint, so I might start getting that. I did some for Dead Sea a while ago. I did Fury, and I really enjoyed painting Tiger Stripe tanks. Yeah, I really enjoyed painting Fury for Steve. I think it was Steve's nephew that I painted it for, and it was good fun. I really enjoyed it, but it was like big tank. But I'm thinking of the bolt action scale, because a lot of us have got bolt action bits and pieces, so I might buy some more of them. And I got some kicking about, so might be another stream. So anyway, that's me waffling on now. I will leave everyone in peace. And Dan's playing World of Tanks, so there's people playing World of Tanks this evening. So if anyone wants to drop by, we're in Discord for at least an hour or so. Thank you everyone that followed tonight. Thank you for the donations tonight. It's always much appreciated. The more that I put in, the more you guys put in, the more bits and pieces I can give out and do giveaways and stuff like that. So it's always gratefully received. So as usual, guys and girls, good night. Take care.